commence the trials. We've established the different concentrations, so we're going to be dealing with 100%, 50%, 25 and 10 of product A, B and C. So they're all set up. We're just going to get the settlement plates now that have been pre-fouled for a good, will be 3-4 months now. And we'll also chip some barnacles and oysters off to probably throw in as well. Then we'll run these trials. We'll assess at 6, 12 and probably 24 hours. The water we've added to dilute is fresh water, ordinary fresh water. So, and we'll measure the temperature shortly of what ambient temperature that is. So we're just about to kick off. Okay, this is the initial trials of the 3 different descalers. I've got product A, product B and product C. Sorry, that's product A, B and C, and essentially we've got 3 plates here. They're only fouled on one side, the upside. A lot of calcareous growth there, so we're just going to run this as an initial trial at 50% of the 3 products, and we'll run this for say 12 hours. We'll just see how we go. So this is just to get a feel for the different products. So we've just started the trials and we've put product A in, and it's immediately fizzing, more so than product B and product C. Initial reaction straight away was product A appeared to be the most aggressive initially. So we just started, they've only been in for less than a minute. This product here is obviously difficult to see because it's not it's quite dark, so we can't really see what's happening. And product C is slowly fizzing. There's a good there's calcareous and also some other hydroids and what have you in there, so it'll be interesting to see what happens as an initial trial, but that's at 50%. So we've just added some acorn barnacles at the bottom of each of these trials. Again, you can't see with product B, but product A, you can see that they're fizzing away quite happily, or quite aggressively actually, compared to the other 3 products. Yeah. Wow. We're just entering on 2 hours 42 of product A, B and C at the various concentrations. And one of the interesting observations at this point is that we put a snail in with each of them, and the snail shell is completely dissolved within 10% of product A. It seems to have disappeared in product B, but it's still very much present and hard in product C. Even product C at 25% and 50% is still present, but it's dissolved completely in the 100%. So at this point it looks like product A and B are sort of performing on the same level at this point as far as the snail results go. But there seems to be a lot more activity at the 100% overall. It's quite a mess in there. So we've just clocked over 4 hours, and one of the interesting observations we've made is that if you recall, we put a snail in each of the treatments, and we thought the snail had dissolved in product B, but we just found it, because obviously it's quite difficult to see, and it's very much intact, as is product C at 10%. So at this point in time it's quite interesting. We're only 4 hours in on product A, and it's completely dissolved the snail even at 10%, and there's no sign of the snails increasing in concentration. We acknowledge that the snail shell's quite vulnerable because the oysters are still intact here, but nevertheless just represents, I suppose, the efficacy of product A at this point in time relative to product B and C. Okay, we're just doing some preliminary trials of product of Descaler A, B and C, and it's now at nearly 6.5 hours, and this is 50% of each of the products. And in here we just had to put a stainless steel washer to hold the plate down in product A, but the acorn barnacles are all soft. These were oysters. They've all lifted off, and as soon as we put it in, it was just fizzing straight away. So product A appears to be performing very well. Product B, similar sort of results in that everything's a bit, mushy. The barnacle's a little bit harder, but appears to be working quite well. And product C is probably the less performer of all three. Those barnacles are still very hard, and there's a lot of calcareous material still on the plate that's very hard. So thus far, at 6 hours, and coming up 6.5 hours, product A arguably appears to be performing the best out of the three. Okay, we're looking at about 1 day, so 24, about 28 hours essentially we're looking at here for trials. And product A, which is quite remarkable actually, the barnacle, it's just mush. I can't feel any calcareous material there whatsoever. So it really has dissolved all the calcium. And then on to product B, a little bit disappointing actually, because all that material is still present. Maybe in a flow situation, that material might actually let go. That is the difference, we acknowledge that. And product C, in comparison relative to others, has practically done nothing. That barnacle as hard as as when we started. You can hear it, that one's a bit softer. And also you can hear the crunching of the calcareous material on the plate. So product C is, it's a little bit disappointing really. So we've taken the plates outside and we're just flushing them with fresh water. This one is product A, is that right?
Yeah.
Product A or...
No, product B.
B, so that's product B. So the material did come off, but you can still see some protein there that's remained. This is product A. It's obviously cleaned up a lot better. There's pretty much hardly anything on that plate now, so that's quite impressive. And this is product C. You can just see it just hasn't let go at all, and even the barnacle is really hard, so quite disappointing on product C.